FPUC retro is confirmed, but not back to July, it's back to January of 2021. Joe Biden's third stimulus package will reportedly pay FPUC retro to January of this year, when second stimulus started to pay you $300 a week. It'll then go forward at $400 a week to September. That's about 40-something weeks at $400 a week, which could amount to about $16,000. A lot of money. That's on top of your UI and PUA, which could be $300 to $400 if you qualify for Escalate benefits. No less than about $700 to $800 a week. In this throwback video, I explain the concept of FPUC, how you get Escalate benefits, how you get PUA, and how you get UI. Enjoy this overnight's LA video on unemployment. FPUC has expired, but will it get reinstated or will it get reduced by 30%? Hey everybody, this is LA Lake with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today. This one's about FPUC. That's $600 from the federal government, which was provided in the first stimulus package and is expiring across the country. What's going to happen with it? Well, let me get right to the news. The confusion about the expiration date of FPUC has been really a big issue of discussion in the comments on this channel. The original CARES Act, the first stimulus package, wrote that FPUC would expire in late July. But I warned you on Saturday that states don't pay benefits for unemployment to the day. They pay them on a weekly basis. It depends on when that week begins. And I warned you on Saturday that some states will stop paying FPUC at the end of this week. Well, some states have already stopped it as of 2 days ago. So that is the situation. Will it get reinstated? I am reporting that it will likely get reinstated under a second stimulus package. As you know, the second stimulus package is currently up for debate in the Congress. And the problem is that we don't have the proposal from the Republicans. Let me get right to what's going on here. The Democrats have proposed that FPUC would get extended. It would get extended into 2021. It would stay at $600. Nothing about it would change. So if there's this lapse of $600 per week for this week and next week, the Democrats would pay you those lapse weeks when the bill is passed in August. Now, the Republicans, what are they doing? Nothing. Earlier this week, we were supposed to see Mitch McConnell's bill, which addresses his proposal for what to do with unemployment and FPUC. He didn't debut it. He told us on Friday he was going to debut it. He did not. Tuesday, he didn't do it either. So finally today, Chuck Schumer had enough about it and said, hey, said it to fellow congressmen, said, hey, where is Mitch's proposal for the second stimulus check? What are you going to do with FPUC? No response. Broadcast News reached out to Mitch and said, what is your statement and position about FPUC? He refused to answer. So what we sit here today is we have no clarity from the Republicans, whose bill is being written by Mitch McConnell and Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary Donald Trump, about what they're going to do with FPUC. There's ultimately three possibilities, and I think that only one is going to happen. The first possibility is the Democrats, that it's going to stay at $600, it get extended all the way into 2021. The second is that it's going to get extended into 2021, but changed the amount or how it applies. The third is it's thrown away. I really think that the second scenario is what's going to happen. It's going to stay around, but it's going to get modified, perhaps the amount on a weekly basis. The reason why is there's a brand new report out today, and it's a big ass report from a big, powerful person who carries a lot of weight with his remarks. It's the former Federal Reserve Vice Chairman, Alan Blender, who everyone knows, who said that cutting and throwing FPUC that throwing away FPUC would cause financial catastrophe to the American economy. It is that serious that a person who was second in head of the Fed literally came out and said, you cannot do this. You have to continue FPUC. The $600 per week of federal unemployment benefits put in place during the economic shutdown is set to expire by law in a couple days, but this was his comments, Blender. It's pretty hard to identify zombie businesses right now when doors are shutting down and people are afraid to go out. Cutting the dollar flow in this emergency would be a catastrophic mistake. He said on broadcast news. How serious is this? He's basically saying that, hey, if you don't continue FPUC, Americans' economy will be in deep shambles. Now, what's going on as it gets very dark here suddenly? He says that you can make changes to FPUC, but you can't throw it away. We can restructure it. Instead of the $6 a week, we can raise the replacement rate, which is a fraction of previous wages replaced by the unemployment benefits, but which maintains the same number of dollars. That would leave over enough money to pay some bonuses to people that go back to work. So you don't cut the dollar flow, but you restructure it the right way. I mean, that's really great news. Now, Kevin O'Leary basically, and you know who Kevin O'Leary is, the shark himself from Shark Tank, said that you can't cut unemployment benefits. You absolutely can't. But one thing you have to absolutely cut is stop having the government give money to businesses, to zombie businesses. O'Leary has a big issue that it's time for decisions, but that will be when the economy starts crawling out of a deep hole. Then we should let the zombie firms go. And it's pretty hard to identify zombies right now. I mean, what we're talking about with zombies is there's a lot of businesses out there that are taking money from these stimulus packages to pad the owners of the company who have no intentions of ever reemploying you and then shutting their doors down. Here's an example. A lot of businesses got PPP money to put employees back to work for 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Many of these are restaurants. But they had no idea how they're going to exist after that. And those employees have now been laid off. So that PPP money served no purpose whatsoever except to pad the business owners of those restaurants. Now, those employees rather should have been on FPUC and gotten $600 a week, should have, or more benefit, and then their unemployment benefits on top of that. Rather, what we did was we complicated the process. The time for the decisions is right now. It's it's on a big wave of this horrible disease centered in the Northwest, especially in New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York. The second wave is centered in the Sun Belt, is more violent as the first wave. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of products, as Blender. So what's going on here? The problem is that there's 1,000 COVID deaths a day. There's 64,000 new COVID cases per day. So there's all these people who are going on unemployment benefits every single day. The unemployment new claims per week is at a historic high. 1 million plus new cases per week. 17th consecutive week. So you have all these people that are going on unemployment. You have runaway COVID-19 cases of people who are going on unemployment. And you have Republicans saying, we don't want to create a welfare state. We don't want people to stay home and collect checks. They're not staying home and collecting checks. Many of them are sick and have to stay home. Many of them have gotten COVID-19 and have to stay home. Many of them have no jobs to go to. Now, I can relate to what's being talked about. This channel, as you know, has helped a lot of businesses and employees. And in the last 24 hours, I have gotten 5 businesses EIDL loans and have saved each business about 19 employees. I had one business who's out of Florida who I was messaging minutes ago. I saved 19 employees for his business who are 1 day away from being laid off. Now, that's great news because that business exists. They have a job, those 19 people, and that loan was a result of the first stimulus package. But a lot of those businesses don't have anything else to go on. A lot of those other businesses have been shut down. So what's going on? What I want you to understand is the following. FPUC, that $600 from the federal government, is expiring. There's nothing out there currently to save it before it expires. Now, I could wake up one morning and I could have incredible great news that everyone by act of Congress is extending it. But there's currently nothing to save it from expiring. It's likely it's going to expire and then get reinstated. Where it's going to get reinstated, it's really going to be a battleground. And the battleground is the following contention. The Republicans continually say that 2/3 of people who are getting FPUC are getting more money than they would have gotten if they're employed. The Democrats and the economists say, who cares? Who cares? Because when you're doing an economic analysis of a pandemic and a recession or a depression, doing more is not bad. There's nothing bad about doing more to save the American economy and to save the American citizen. There's nothing bad about doing more, but doing less can be catastrophic. Ultimately, what you need to understand is that when people sit around and don't get their benefits and don't get them paid, they will be homeless, they will be unable to pay rent, they will be displaced from their homes, and COVID-19 cases will increase. So what should you expect? You should expect that FPUC will expire. You should expect that it get reinstated. But you should also, and this is the bad news, you should expect a very, very difficult time in late July where we don't have any clarity about what's going on and the bill has expired. Mitch McConnell has refused to comment the future about FPUC. We just don't know. It's sort of like the light on the set today. It's going dark, it's going light. I mean, we really don't know. And the important thing for you to understand is that if you qualify for FPUC, and I've said this before, get on it right now. Get on FPUC right now. Let me answer some of the questions that I get on a regular basis. I am unemployed. I have never worked. Can I get FPUC? No. FPUC is not something you individually apply for. FPUC is on top of UI or PUA benefits. So you first apply for UI and you first apply for PUA. It goes on top of it. If you don't qualify for UI or PUA, you don't qualify for FPUC. If you qualify for UI, please apply right away. If you qualify for PUA, apply right away. Because those programs, as defined in the CARES Act, are expiring as well for new applicants. So PUA, if you're on it now, it's not expiring. But if you're not on PUA and are eligible for it, apply today. When this video stops, apply for it right away because you get the benefits of it. Ultimately, what's going on is that these benefits on the first stimulus package for unemployment continue a lot of weeks. It's great news. It's a lot of weeks. And so if you get on the program, you get eligible, you start getting payments, you get those payments going forward. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen next week. You are on the program. You're getting paid. PUA pays about 33 weeks. So let's say you started today, and let's say your date of qualification is today. You get 33 weeks going forward. But if you wait for PUA to expire, you get nothing, unless it's passed in the second stimulus package. Last, the most important things that viewers ask me all the time is retroactive benefits. Boy, it is so important. When applying for UI or PUA benefits, make sure you certify the date that you're impacted by COVID-19. If the date is in the past, if the date is backwards in the past, then list that date in the past because that will give you retroactive benefits. For example, if your date of impact is March and you're applying for it today, boy, that's going to be a lot of money coming to you. March, April, May, June, July. All the 5 times 4 weeks in a month, 20 weeks of benefits would come to you at about, at least $600, $700 a week. That's a lot of money. Get that application on file. I have saved a lot of people who applied for unemployment benefits and got it on file. And it saved them, it saved their families, and it saved them through this pandemic. Ultimately, it may continue to save you as you go forward. If you have questions in today's video, drop them in the comments below. Please be helpful of one another. Keep positive, keep smiling, stay educated, and as always, save LA for more.